Hello, welcome back to another, couldn't get my words out then, another episode of Losing
You
It.
make it sound like another.
Another. It
Welcome
was
back
just
to
that it
another.
got stuck.
It's all in the tone of voice, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
And this week we're going to talk about 5 things you should know before starting a weight loss journey.
Yeah, I mean we've crammed it in because we especially at this time of year, it's pre-Christmas and there's a lot of people doing their research and they are comparing, that we
Yeah.
will, and I love that about you, by the way. But there is it's should I do the whole world is telling me to do weight loss medication, but then there's all these other options out here, and there's lots of people doing really well on the one-to-one diet, and maybe we're in the running as well. So wherever you're at, whatever your options are that you're entertaining, this is good advice regardless. That's what we went
Yes.
for, isn't it? Because we don't want to be too,
Yes.
one to, this all applies to the one to one.
Yes.
The takeaway from this is we're the bit that you need most. We're
We
the,
are.
we're the bit that, we're the bit that makes the difference.
We definitely are.
Quick
So,
plug,
yes. First
right?
up, you do not need motivation before you start. Motivation is not a passive emotion. I'm just going to put it out there. I will say it till the cows come home.
If you're listening to us, you really need to watch it on video so that you can see the expression on Heidi's face whilst she says this.
It is not. Motivation is created by taking action. Take positive
Right.
action for yourself. Just get going. It doesn't matter if you don't feel ready. Of course, you don't feel ready. You know nothing about what you're about to dive into. We haven't explained the plan to you. We haven't told you how we could make it work for you. You haven't met us.
Why
Of
they're
course, you
here
feel
doing their research.
nervous.
Why they're
Yeah.
here doing their
Well,
research.
yeah.
Exactly. No, but it's true though, isn't it? It takes one to know one.
Yeah.
And it is important. And one of the things that we don't know is we don't know what we don't know. And
Yes.
so we try and over research. And what we do is we can sort of we can work through it and sort of theorize it and come out the other side. And what happens along that process is that you can end up with so much generic advice that you've missed precisely that bespoke one-to-one bit,
Yeah.
and you lose all sense of objectivity. That's where the motivation starts coming in, because if I just wanted this badly enough, I'd be able to stick to it, even though it's an inappropriate plan for you, or it's the wrong
Yeah.
approach for right now. You don't have any of that mitigation in there, any of that understanding of somebody as a whole person. What you've got is a chart in front of you, and it appears to work in theory, and that over researching can really dry it out, and so you end up thinking it's all about mindset. I've just got to feel motivated. I've
Yeah.
just got to want it badly enough. And exactly like Heidi said, you can't talk yourself into, because it's a bit like a job interview. You talk such a good game, and then you start, and it can feel really kind of disconnected. And the
Yeah.
self-blame of, well, maybe I just didn't want it enough. Maybe I should just stay where I am. And it can be really quite destructive. Exactly what Heidi just said. By starting the process, you start to build that self-trust. And that is the key to feeling more motivated, because you start gently unwrapping the bits of it you don't know yet.
Yes. And when you just start doing it with our support and guidance, you start building the momentum, and the momentum feels good. And that is what that feeling of motivation actually is. And
It's a
so,
big ask, isn't it? Because we're asking you
yes,
to trust us, and that's
yes,
the big one. But what I would say on the flip side of that, just to stand up for that a little bit, is trust us until you are ready to start trusting yourself.
yeah,
The moment it starts working, that self-trust, maybe I am onto a good thing. Maybe I am more capable than I thought I was. And, we appreciate when you're at the very beginning and you're staring down the barrel of a weight loss journey, the overwhelm is real. So just taking those small steps with somebody that is supporting you and really directing you, reducing that overwhelm by making it as simple as possible to just take one step at a time. And we will really break it down. That's not to say micromanage, but we'll really break it down into the most simplified process until you are ready to take on that baton of confidence and feeling more motivated.
yeah.
It's a sort of lean on us until you're ready to take over method,
Yes,
isn't it?
that is the benefit of having us as your consultant, one of us, is that you can just do the next thing in front of you, and we will worry about everything that's going to come in the future and make sure that you're ready as we go along. You've just got to worry about this little bit that's in front of you. That's it. That's all
Yes.
that your job
And
is.
I think that's very true. A lot of people come to us and they start talking about how to keep it off before they've even started
Yeah.
getting off, because again we understand it, and I think that is also the downside of being a really engaged person who, that you want to understand what's happening, you want to know why,
Yes.
you need it, you need it broken down for you, and so relinquishing that to trust can sound really scary. Motivation, though, it can slip very quickly into you just don't want it badly enough. And that toxic end of diet, fitness, academia, we see it in all aspects of our society where, oh, you just didn't try hard enough then. And if only I was more motivated, and it's that very ephemeral thing of catching motivation as if it's gold dust in the air,
Yes.
and how are you supposed to grasp onto it? It is not the concrete, tenets of an actual method, of a plan, of something that you can do.
Yes. It cannot be relied upon because this moves us on to our second one. It's consistency you're looking for. Consistency over putting too much pressure of perfection onto yourself is where you want to be, isn't it now?
It's also um, trust, trusting us, trusting the consultant that you're working with to find the right, most appropriate plan with you, with the objectivity that we're blessed with.
Yeah.
So when you first come
Yes.
to us, we try and understand as much of your situation, your lifestyle, who you live with, how you eat, what you eat, all of your preferences, exercising, medical conditions, and that builds an entire picture of what is going to be the most appropriate plan for you. And again, that might not be the plan that you came here thinking. It might not be 3 meal replacements, loads of water, and you just want it badly enough, because you will crash out. Now,
Yeah.
step 1A is fantastic. We've got whole separate videos and show reels on that you can go and look at. Step 1B, when appropriate, love. Fantastic weight loss solution. But the most important thing is that it is a plan that you can stick to, and
Yes.
and it is a bit hare and tortoise. It's not necessarily slower, but that consistency is absolutely key, and it all comes with that. It doesn't matter how, motivation. It's really, cutting through a bit of that perfectionism. It's, can you show up on a wet Wednesday in January on a day where you don't feel very inspired? I didn't really fancy it today. Oh, hey, fancy it or not, I can guarantee there'll be long stretches where you don't fancy it. But we're doing it anyway, right? We're doing it because it's the right plan. It's stickable to you.
Yeah.
It's easy. You can do it on a day where it takes very little effort. Didn't realize dieting could be this easy, taste this
Yeah.
good. So fit my lifestyle so well. And that is the sweet spot. That's when you're on the right plan for you, and consistency becomes easy. It's not about being perfect. It's about making that consistent progress so you can always picture yourself getting where you want to be. Because the weight loss is just a formality. You can.
Yeah. Exactly. And that if you get the right plan and the right support, us, if you get the right plan and the right support, it will feel as easy as it possibly can. And it will feel like, oh, this is going quite well. Oh, I quite like this. Oh, this is all right. I
Yeah.
could do this for a bit. And all of
And
a
I
sudden,
really
it's
realise that
working.
that in itself can be quite unsettling, because a lot of people, and Heidi and I, have both fallen foul of this in the past, haven't we?
Yeah.
And our pretty epic weight loss journeys, and our experience is, it doesn't hurt unless it doesn't work unless it hurts. And that is perfectionism, is that if I'm not perfect, I've blown it. And so, that cycle of, so I have to be even better tomorrow, so I have to diet even harder. And we know the evidence is in that over deprivation leads to overeating and ricocheting between the all or nothing. And with meal replacements, they are your nutritional insurance policy. They are the safety net that keeps your nutrition, nice and high, so that you are satiated, so that you are calm, so that you are not like a pinball. Ping, 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 ping. So, well, I moralizing. Well, today was bad, so tomorrow's going to have to
Yes.
be good.
Yeah.
And that's a holding pattern that people can
Us. Yeah.
constantly get
Everyone. All of
stuck in
us.
for weeks, months, and years. So, it takes one to know one. And sometimes you might find that working with Heidi and I is a little bit confronting in that sense. We may challenge you a little bit and point out your perfectionism. And, I don't want to be the first person in your life to point out that, you can be brilliant, high achieving, wonderful, intelligent, witty, funny, sexiest beast on the planet. But the sooner you get over the fact that none of us are perfect, the better this is going to go.
Exactly. I do realize it's very disappointing to find out you're only human and you can't have the perfect life. But we do have to deal with that because if you're not careful, that I can only do this if I am perfect at it, will hold you hostage to making progress
Such a
and
good
it will cut
phrase.
you down.
Yes.
So that brings us on to this won't be any shocker. Support matters more than you think. It really does. Getting the right support for you, having it tailored to you, having that one-to-one, which is what we offer, where it's just me or Nell and you in a room where we can chat these things through. We can come up a plan that's going to work. We can make those little tweaks. We can look at the challenges. We can make changes as we go along so that it works, so that you continue to feel confident, so that it fits in with your lifestyle, so that you're not out there floundering on your own, thinking, oh my God, I don't know what to do
No, but I
next.
love that. I love what, just so simply put, what you put some substance in.
Yeah.
You just told me what you actually do and what your role is. And I think support has been co-opted by a kind of broader diet world of support is tea and sympathy when things aren't going well. That's not
Yes.
support. It might be peer-to-peer support. We've all been in support groups where people just go, "Don't worry, hun, you're lovely. You've got yeah, yes, but somebody actually has to take some responsibility. Somebody has to lead that. Somebody has to know a little bit more, be a little bit further down the road. And maybe you are looking for something a bit more dynamic than tea and sympathy. And quite often, tea and biscuits, which is really unhelpful in that situation. Oh, you're feeling a bit sad. Should we have
Shall
a
we have some
biscuit and cheer
cake?
us?
No, let's not have some
No,
cake.
let's
Let's come
not.
up with
Exactly.
practical solutions that are actually going to work for you.
The support can feel bully. It can feel like, you can absolutely understand why people don't know what it means and that they would shy away from that
Yeah.
accountability. But also support can sound like it's just a kind of vapid cheering you along when things are going well. Like I'd be doing this anyway, but I've got this consultant that goes, "Oh, well done, hun." Oh, bad luck, hun. It's not luck. The brilliant thing about clinically proven, 40 odd years of research, it's a plan. We know it, we've got known variables, we've got all the evidence there. So our job is how to create the perfect environment for you to be able to stick to said plan that was really effective. And for that, that's where the bespoke bit comes in. So support has much more meat on its bones. Also, it's proven that talking therapy, now we're not therapists, but soundboarding, saying things out
Yes.
loud, giving yourself that dedicated, we call them focus calls, Heidi and I. You might just call them a weigh in again, but it's still going to go along with a good check in.
Yeah.
What did you learn? What is going brilliantly well that we can move forward with? The power in having an opportunity with somebody that's really invested in your journey is the opportunity to say it out loud. And we are not just saying it out loud so that Null or Heidi know what's going on. We're saying it out loud because we're the ones that need to believe it. You are the one that needs to believe it. And the power in hearing your own voice say something, it allows you to draw connections, see things that you didn't see before,
Yes.
recognize progress that isn't connected to the number on the scale. Again, it's about confidence building, self-esteem, self-awareness. And sometimes, there are things that I might be able to hear just from getting to know you and just make tweaks. One of the things I've noticed from doing this job is it's not the grand gestures. It's not the
It's the
starting.
small things, isn't it?
It's small hinges move big doors. It's those small things that we learn about ourselves and the that empowering connection that we make for I don't care as long as it works for me.
Yeah.
And that's not just getting the weight off, that's keeping the weight off. It's accepting the idiosyncrasies that what works for her, scrolling through endless before and afters. Don't get me wrong, I love them. I love them, love them. But you don't see any of that development that happens behind the scenes. You just see a slimmed down version without ever really understanding how that
Yeah.
person got there. And what you learn about yourself along the way when you're given that opportunity to air it is phenomenally powerful in terms of your confidence for maintenance.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And it's really hard to be objective about your own life, your own weight loss journey. It's really hard to see that because you're living it, you're in it.
Yeah, you're
And
in the
so,
hot seat.
but yes, chatting it through with us allows us to give you that objectivity back and feedback to you and say, this is what I'm seeing. Does that sound right? And if it does, I think I know what I can suggest to make that a little bit easier for this next week coming ahead, you know?
Absolutely. Things like planning.
Yeah.
We don't really mind what the plan is as long as there is one. So going into the
Yes.
festive period, looking at menus, strategizing, that sort of thing. Sometimes it is also, you might want a bit more accountability. You might need a little bit of a good talking to because you might want a bit of support in calling yourself out on the same
Yes.
BS narrative because, I'm aware when I'm spinning myself a yarn, when I'm over justifying things. Well, that's all right because that's okay because, and I got away with that. Sometimes it is. I think the number one thing I would point out is that it works so much better with someone that gets it.
Yes,
And
it
that is a
does.
that's a hard thing to it's a hard qualification to put on
Yep.
LinkedIn, isn't it? You're just
It
like,
is.
don't worry, girl, I'll
I
get
got
it.
you.
But it is really important. We love it. We do not demand every single week of you. It is not, this is a relationship. It's a collaboration. It's we love seeing you every week. You can do it every week, but as long as it's regular,
Yeah.
as long as it's a regular touch in, and you know that it's there in your best interest because it's something you get to do. It's a big part of the process. That's a wraparound. It's not sending you shakes and saying, well, you just have to
Good
work
luck.
badly enough.
Yeah. Good
Exactly.
luck. See you in a week when you weigh in, and I'll just give you some more. No, no, no. It's much more involved so that it's a benefit to you and that you can actually achieve the results that you really want and why you came into doing the plan in the first place.
Absolutely. You deserve the very best.
Fabulous. Next one up, water. And why it's important to stay hydrated because it's one of the things when you're thinking about losing weight, that's not really on your radar usually until you speak to either me or Nell. We say, and also alongside your plan, we're going to stay hydrated, and here is how we're going to do that. And the reason we're staying hydrated is so that your body can work as efficiently as possible.
Exactly. It makes everything work better. It's a consistent demand. It's not just weight loss, it's pre-weight loss because it will make getting on plan. So if you are thinking about going on plan soon, start drinking your water whilst you book your initial consultation.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of the first things that we say to you, and it's going to be throughout weight loss and also into long-term weight maintenance. So if you're coming out of the other end of a weight loss journey, and you're kind of introducing more food and a broader diet, then do not drop your hydration. It's really, really important. I mean, from everything from if you're using meal replacements, we're taking away most of your water because you're actually getting most of your water from your food. When you're eating food, you can pretty much get away without drinking any real water. You can have a bit of tea, Monster, Diet Coke. People drink liquids, but not necessarily water. When you're on meal replacement, we need to kind of artificially go back in and
Yeah.
make an effort to put the water back in. But we've got smoothies and shakes and porridges and savoury products, and they all require added water. It does more than fill you up. It's not a decoy. So we're not encouraging you to drink water to distract yourself from eating. We are
No.
really high nutrition, nutrient dense plan. We are all about nutrition. However many meal replacements, about balancing that with real food, but everything is better available to your body when you are well hydrated. Also,
Yes.
fiber works better when you are hydrated. And because if you've made it this far into the video, you're a very, clever sausage. And you know that fiber, we're all chronically, eating too low a fiber diet. So if you're drinking water, have your fiber. If you're having your fiber, drink your water.
Exactly. Because we want you to stay full of energy, feel like you can get through the day, have a lovely time and lose weight. And also, it does help your skin to be all glowy. So it's very good all round. And the last one, number 5 in our list, is your journey. It's not going to look like anyone else. Stop comparing yourself to Karen down the road or Sharon in accounts. You're not them. You're going to go on your own weight loss journey, and we're going to find a way for it to work for you. And it might look similar from the outside, but we are all unique. We all have different lives. We have different challenges. Our bodies react in different ways to certain things. We're going to help you find the thing that's going to make it work for you. But stop comparing yourself to someone else because, especially like Nell alluded to earlier, when you see those before and afters on social media, it's very easy for our brain to assume that they got that way because they were that perfect person that you're planning to be. And you don't see any of the stuff that they chatted about with their consultant.
That actually is a before and after, like you mentioned, actually is a really good analogy for, Heidi wears Lucy and Yak dungarees and she always looks amazing. And so I went and bought Lucy and Yak dungarees and I looked awful, like I was wearing a paper bag. And that doesn't make sense because they look good on her. And I see things all the time and that looks good. So I will do exactly what she's doing and I will also look good. Heidi does a brilliant series. If you don't follow her on Instagram, you absolutely must because she tries clothes on and then she styles them. And the difference is phenomenal. It's unbelievable from clothes on a hanger to the what you do with them, belted, added, tucked in different ways with different things that other, I might not have thought of. And that is plan. It is the styling that
Yeah,
makes it perfect for you. It's not a buy it off the hanger and it either works or it doesn't. It either looks good on you or it doesn't. The adding bits, the taking it away, the expressing your personal style, what works for you, the timings of when you eat during the day, of who you are as a whole person is what makes plan work. And you can look at somebody else that lost weight and that might get you as far as using the same product,
yeah,
but just like, some clients using GLP-1 alongside the one-to-one, other people, still going to their Slimming World weigh-ins just to get their certificates and their clicks. We're here for it all. We want to make the plan work for you. And that is our job. It is our obsession, is our passion, but it is also our speciality.
yeah,
Is my responsibility is to make the plan fit for you, not to sit here and go, well, that's the plan, you either do it or you don't. You know, you got to put the heel grips in, you got to use different insoles, you got to make the shoe fit the foot and not just keep saying, well, the foot's wrong for the shoe.
yes, exactly. That is, like Nell said, it is our specialty to bespoke this plan to work for you. And we absolutely adore it and are passionate about it. And so if you have got to the end of this and you have watched us all the way through and you're thinking, yes, I'm in, our diaries are open for 2026
She had
already.
me at Lucy and Yak dungarees.
Exactly. Get our contact details are in the description below. Also, our direct booking link is in the description below if you just want to go, no, I'm in, let me book. And we would love to see you over the next weeks or in the new year and get you all sorted, get you feeling good, and get you maybe your very own Lucy and Yak dungarees. Who knows? We will see you again next time. Have a good
Oh, you
one.
see a sponsorship deal in the making.
It is, I know. Are they listening? Probably not. Probably not. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Bye.